trending in the news for a comment she made on her podcast. Sophie Cunningham's week that keeps on giving has hit a new high. She started out the week on Good Morning America, and now she is closing out the week starring in an Adidas commercial highlighting the new shoes that are about to be released.
Sophie Cunningham transformed a casual Adidas sneaker ad into a major WNBA moment. What started as a playful showcase of new electric pink shoes quickly sparked controversy after fans spotted subtle digs aimed at the Indiana Fever. The lighthearted commercial unexpectedly became a hot topic, capturing widespread attention and sparking discussion across the basketball community.
Sophie Cunningham has taken the ball and ran with it. For that, Sophie Cunningham, kudos to you. Making lemonade out of the lemons that you've been given. Capitalizing on your newfound fame, your newfound stardom, being a part of the Indiana Fever, defending Caitlin Clark. You got the Arby's deal. You got the ring deal. And now, starring in a commercial.
The clip quickly went viral overnight, igniting intense debates about loyalty, fame, and money within the league. Fans wondered if Sophie was intentionally sending a hidden message to her team or the WNBA through the ad. Regardless of her intent, this commercial has permanently altered how people view Sophie Cunningham.
Colorways from Adidas and Damian Lillard.
Say night-night to your opponent in night purple. Be in your element with black sulfur, or cause a shock with electric pink.
Where's electric pink?
Sophie Cunningham?
I'm busy.
Wow! Thank you.
Available at Adidas.com. Availability, sizing, color, website address, and prices may vary by region. Please check with the local retailer. And remember, always name time responsibly.
At first, it seemed like any typical Adidas promo showcasing their newest basketball shoes. But something was different this time. Sophie Cunningham wasn't just a background figure. She was the star of the commercial, dressed in bold electric pink. She dominated every shot with a commanding confidence, sending a clear message. She's arrived and ready to make a statement.
This is pretty much a Sophie Cunningham commercial, let's be honest here. This isn't her alongside another WNBA player. This isn't her alongside another NBA player. This is a Sophie Cunningham commercial selling these new Dame.
Fans expected a quick cameo or a group shot with other WNBA or NBA players, but instead they got a full spotlight on Sophie Cunningham. Social media exploded within hours, with clips of the ad flooding TikTok and X. Viewers quickly picked up on the subtle undertones. This wasn't just a commercial, it was a bold statement. Sophie's confident smirk, her dismissive "I'm busy" line, and the final shot with the slogan, "Be unapologetic," sparked massive buzz. Many fans saw it as a powerful message of empowerment, while others interpreted it as serious shade aimed at the Indiana Fever. The ad sparked debates, with some praising Sophie's confidence and others questioning her motives behind the message.
Sees the money that Sophie Cunningham is, see the star that she is becoming, that she continues to become, and said, yep, we're going to capitalize on that. She's already been underneath the brand. She's already been affiliated with Adidas. And they said, let's push that button real quick. We see her on let's push that button. We see her TikTok blowing up, her Instagram blowing up. Let's get some of those eyeballs onto our product, and hopefully that can help convert.
And the timing couldn't be more suspicious. Just days earlier, Sophie caused a stir on her podcast, hinting she was seeking a bigger contract and casually mentioning interest in cities beyond Indiana. The timing of the ad and her remarks seemed strategically aligned, fueling speculation about underlying messages and future plans.
Cunningham also in the news for comments she made about her new potential contract, maybe mentioned some cities that aren't Indiana, has fans asking the question, is Sophie Cunningham coming back? Are the Fever front office going to blow this? Are the Fever front office going to offer her a max?
For many, the Adidas ad felt like the final statement in Sophie's contract saga. Was she subtly asserting her independence from the Fever? Or was Adidas simply leveraging her rising fame to create buzz and boost sales? Either way, It's clear that the ad sparked intense speculation and fueled ongoing conversations about her next move.
Was massive.
So many people would love to buy some Sophie Cunningham Adidas merchandise. Please make it happen. Don't want a PE, I want her own shoe. I gotta be honest. The term electric pink for Sophie Cunningham, electric pink, I don't hate that name either. Extra spicy. Hey, I'm not mad at this little rollout that we got for Sophie Cunningham this week. It's not a coincidence. I'm sure this commercial was shot weeks ago or months ago, but it's no coincidence that we have Good Morning America on Monday and we close out with an Adidas commercial.
Meanwhile, sports media outlets immediately analyzed the commercial, scrutinizing every detail. Some commended Sophie for boldly owning her narrative, praising it as strategic brilliance. Others accused her of arrogance, claiming her newfound fame had overshadowed her team loyalty. Fans remained divided, but one thing was clear. Sophie Cunningham had unquestionably achieved mainstream recognition.
How this is done. You build and you build and you build. You reach that climax, boom, hit them with the commercial. Salute to Sophie Cunningham. I like the nicknames. Extra spicy, electric pink. Absolutely awesome. I'm so happy to see Sophie coining it. I'd like her to get enough money to buy a house so that she can play for the team she wants to play for, not be focused on the earnings.
But wait, insiders revealed that the front office was far from pleased about all the attention. They understood that this kind of spotlight could shift the focus away from the team and onto Sophie's personal brand. What really struck me was realizing that the WNBA isn't exactly equipped to handle a situation where a player's individual fame begins to overshadow the franchise itself. What happened next made it obvious this wasn't just a fleeting viral moment. It marked the beginning of a significant power shift within the Indiana Fever organization. This was a turning point that signaled bigger changes ahead.
Was building a name for herself. As far as her TikTok goes, as far as her Instagram goes, as far as her likeness goes, as far as her appeal goes. She already had the nickname MAGA Barbie, like it or not, over there in Phoenix Mercury. So she already had some clout, so to speak, before coming to Indiana. And then this year has done nothing but just take it to another level.
Adidas recognized something exceptional in Sophie Cunningham that many in the WNBA seemed slow to notice. Her undeniable star power shone brightly, especially after her fierce moments defending Caitlin Clark, which quickly made her a trending sensation. With her bold social media presence and magnetic personality, the brand saw her as a perfect lightning rod. Sophie embodied the qualities Adidas aimed to showcase: confidence, chaos, and charisma all in one package. In the commercial, she didn't need teammates or extras. Her energy alone commanded the entire screen, filling it with her dynamic presence. Adidas positioned her as a disruptive force in a league that often struggles to create true marketing icons. They embraced her polarizing image, either adored or fiercely criticized, and turned it into her greatest strength. The signature electric pink wasn't just a color. It represented her unpredictable, edgy personality. The entire rollout was a masterstroke of branding brilliance. The ad dropped right after Sophie's appearance on Good Morning America, a moment that already propelled her into the national spotlight. But it wasn't a coincidence. It was a calculated move. Adidas waited until the hype around Sophie reached its peak before launching the campaign, riding the wave of momentum. Within hours, electric pink was trending, and Sophie's name was being searched more than any other WNBA player that week. This level of brand synergy is exactly what the league dreams of: a player transforming into a cultural icon, not just a sports figure. They cast her as the rebellious voice of the WNBA, someone unafraid to challenge norms while looking effortlessly flawless. For Sophie, this was a huge validation. After years of grinding and often being overshadowed by bigger stars, she was finally stepping into the spotlight as a true icon. But now, Sophie Cunningham was the headline. Adidas had essentially made her impossible to ignore, elevating her to a new level of fame. As fans celebrated her remarkable glow-up, the Indiana Fever front office couldn't help but feel the pressure mounting. Here's the real story. When a player's market value skyrockets overnight, it doesn't just boost her personal brand, it fundamentally alters her future with her team. What made things even more intense was that while Sophie's commercial was still making waves, she dropped another surprise during a podcast appearance that had Fever fans on edge. With a calm smile, Sophie mentioned she wanted a bigger contract so she could finally buy a house and feel settled. At first, it seemed harmless, but what she said next turned it into a bombshell. She casually referenced cities like New York and Minneapolis as places she could see herself living. That single remark sent social media into chaos, sparking rumors about a potential move to the New York Liberty or Minnesota Lynx. Fever supporters flooded comment sections, pleading her not to leave, while others suspected she was playing the media game, using contract talk to pressure the front office into offering more. Sophie, however, didn't backpedal. She reaffirmed her value, emphasizing that she wanted a contract that reflected not only her performance on the court, but also her growing influence off it. And honestly, she's not wrong. Few players have harnessed fame, fashion, and fan engagement as effectively as Sophie this season. From her partnership with Arby's and her viral TikToks to the spotlight from Adidas, she's become a major marketing force. But the real issue lies beneath the surface. The Fever already face significant financial commitments, especially with Caitlin Clark's upcoming maximum extension looming. Whether intentional or not, Sophie's comments put immense public pressure on the franchise, sponsors, and even the media, which now view her as one of the league's rising free agents. Her desire for a bigger contract wasn't just about money. It was about status, leverage, and independence. Suddenly, Indiana found themselves under the spotlight once again. Just as the franchise was gaining national attention through Caitlin Clark's rising star and team chemistry, Sophie's Adidas campaign and contract remarks reignited a wave of speculation and controversy. Within the organization, team executives were reportedly caught off guard by Sophie's rising prominence. While they recognized her popularity among fans, they did not anticipate her to take such a leading role in shaping her own narrative publicly. This unexpected move has cast a spotlight directly on the team's efforts to rebuild its image, creating an awkward situation that the front office can no longer ignore. Behind closed doors, Fever management faces a difficult dilemma. Sophie's breakout season has undoubtedly increased the team's visibility and drawn new attention, but it has also driven her market value up at an alarming rate. The WNBA's strict salary cap makes it challenging to accommodate her rising salary demands alongside those of Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, both of whom will also require top-tier contracts soon. Offering Sophie a lucrative deal now risks straining the team's long-term roster flexibility, yet underpaying her could risk losing one of the league's most charismatic and marketable players, potentially alienating a passionate fan base that admires her bold personality. Industry insiders argue that Sophie's brand alone justifies a significant investment, as she attracts sponsors, media attention, and engaged audiences, elements the Fever have struggled to generate consistently. Meanwhile, fans have voiced their support loudly through social media campaigns demanding the team pay Sophie fairly and retain Cunningham. The Fever's silence on the matter only intensifies the controversy, with each passing day increasing the risk of losing her altogether. Sophie's camp is also aware of her leverage, and sources suggest she's prepared to push for a deal that reflects her growing value. The coming weeks will be critical as the team navigates these conflicting pressures and seeks a solution that balances financial sustainability with star power. The Adidas spotlight did more than just boost Sophie Cunningham's fame. It significantly strengthened her negotiating power. If the Indiana Fever delay too long in making a decision, Sophie might remind them how quickly loyalty can shift in a branding-driven sports world. Her rising influence proves that her value extends beyond just her on-court performance. But Sophie's impact goes even further. she has mastered turning controversy into a strategic advantage. Long before her Adidas deal, she was already building a personal brand that reached beyond basketball. Her TikTok and Instagram accounts exploded after her fiery confrontations and unapologetic interviews. Every viral moment, bold statement, and sideline smirk has become part of her brand, confident, chaotic, and captivating. Her nickname, MAGA Barbie, once a criticism from critics, she turned into a symbol of her resilience and authenticity. Sophie's ability to reframe negativity into empowerment highlights her understanding of attention economics. She knows how to monetize the noise, securing endorsements like Arby's, a ring sponsorship, and her recent Adidas Electric Pink campaign. Each opportunity is part of her larger goal: independence and control over her career. Sophie isn't waiting for recognition. She's actively creating her empire. Her approach is similar to stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but feels more raw and personal. Her rise comes at a time when the WNBA needs stars who can truly move the needle. Sophie proves that controversy and charisma can generate headlines, making her one of the league's top headline creators, even if she's not the top scorer. However, her success isn't without challenges. The more she shines off the court, the more whispers of tension grow within the locker room. Some teammates admire her hustle, while others worry her rising profile shifts focus away from team unity. Her Adidas commercial was a turning point, revealing her growing independence, which has caused some internal friction. The ad was seen by many as a clear sign of Sophie Cunningham's growing independence from team branding, especially since no other Fever players appeared in it. In a league that emphasizes teamwork, individual success can sometimes be mistaken for rebellion. With every viral clip and trending hashtag, Sophie's influence within the locker room only intensifies. Adding to the complexity is Caitlin Clark, whose presence introduces another dynamic. Clark embodies the all-American underdog, disciplined, focused, and purely dedicated to basketball. Together, they draw enormous attention, but managing their contrasting personalities is a delicate balancing act. Some insiders worry that their differing egos could create tension, while others see their rivalry as the spark that could define a new era for the league. Behind the scenes, coaches are navigating this carefully. They recognize Sophie's immense popularity as a valuable asset for the franchise, but are also acutely aware of the importance of maintaining team chemistry. Players have reportedly been advised to focus on basketball and avoid social media drama, but that's easier said than done in the modern WNBA, where every move can go viral instantly. The Fever stands at a pivotal crossroads, caught between fame, loyalty, and ambition. The choices Sophie makes now could determine whether the team remains united or begins to fracture from within. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's rising star looms large, with her clean-cut image and record-breaking college success positioning her as the face of the league's future. Sophie's unapologetic personality and willingness to play the villain have made her a symbol of a new, more fierce and individualistic WNBA era. Together, Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark form a powerhouse of marketing potential, but they also pose a risk to the team's stability. From a branding perspective, keeping both players on the same team makes strategic sense. Caitlin attracts basketball traditionalists and purists, while Sophie appeals to the entertainment-seeking crowd. Major brands like Adidas, Nike, and broadcasters such as ESPN have taken notice of how both athletes dominate fan conversations. Whether intentional or not, their combined star power is generating engagement levels that surpass the entire league's previous seasons. However, managing this duo from a team perspective is complex. Both women crave attention, but in different ways, requiring the Fever to navigate their dynamic carefully. Some insiders believe Sophie's recent moves, her commercial with Adidas, her contract remarks, and her viral TikToks, are her efforts to ensure she's not overshadowed by Caitlin. Fans are divided. Some see them as the fire and ice of the franchise, while others worry that one's success could come at the expense of the others. For now, their chemistry appears strong, but the underlying whispers of rivalry persist. If Indiana manages this correctly, they could craft the most marketable duo in WNBA history. But mishandling the situation, allowing jealousy or egos to grow, could threaten everything they've built. In a league desperate for stars, losing either player could be catastrophic. Ultimately, Sophie Cunningham's rise is more than just a personal achievement. It's a wake-up call for the entire WNBA, signaling a new era of fierce individuality and superstar power. For years, players were encouraged to let their skills on the court speak for themselves, to stay humble, and to leave marketing and branding to the league. Sophie Cunningham, however, completely flipped that script. Her Adidas commercial was more than just a branding moment. It was a clear sign that players now hold the power to shape their own image and influence. This shift is making team executives nervous, as it challenges the long-standing notion that players should remain modest and let their performance do the talking. For decades, the WNBA struggled to strike a balance between celebrating star power and maintaining league unity. Now, Sophie stands at the heart of that delicate tension. Her success demonstrates that charisma, controversy, and confidence can garner as much fan engagement as impressive stats or championship titles. They crave bold personalities that trend and inspire conversations. Sophie delivered exactly that, pushing the league and her team to evolve in response. The timing of her rise couldn't be more strategic. Caitlin Clark's popularity has brought millions of new viewers to women's basketball, proving that visibility doesn't have to come from a traditional archetype. Players like Sophie show that being outspoken, unpredictable, and authentic can be just as valuable as being polished and reserved. Her endorsement deals and growing brand presence prove that companies now prioritize authenticity over conformity. But with increased visibility comes amplified risks. Every statement, contract discussion, and social media post is scrutinized and magnified. Sophie's next move, whether to stay with the Fever or test free agency, will send shockwaves through the league. If she remains loyal, she becomes a cornerstone of a rising franchise. If she departs, she sets a precedent for players demanding respect, control, and individual recognition. Sophie Cunningham isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's redefining what it means to be a star in women's sports. What started as a simple Adidas commercial has become a powerful statement of independence, ambition, and influence. The Indiana Fever now face a pivotal decision: embrace Sophie's star power or risk losing her to a franchise eager to invest in her future. Either way, Sophie has proven she doesn't just play the game, she moves it. From this moment on, every spotlight in the league will have her name written in electric light.